Could you be Otherkin? If you have no idea what I'm talking about, hold on, we will define that in a moment. If you do, first off, I want you to know that you are not alone. And second off, I want you to know that you're not crazy. But first, for those of you who do not know me, my name's Hannah, and I help people to own their powers and step into the driver's seat of their own lives. And today we're going to be doing that by going into 5 different ways that you, if you identify as Otherkin, can actually create connections in your life and make lots of friends. How does that sound? So if you don't know what the term Otherkin means, essentially, it's quite similar to starseed, but whereas starseeds are those that originate from another planet, Otherkin can be like you, more so your soul energy, what you dominantly incarnate as is not human. Or it's like not even just not from another planet, it's from like another reality, another dimension. It could even be from a fictional world. So yeah, the scope of Otherkin, it really encompasses a lot. Many in my audience identify as dragonkin. That's having the soul of a dragon, essentially most dominantly incarnating as a dragon or originating as a dragon as your very first incarnation. I hope that makes sense and that's clear. If not, just leave me a question in the comments below. I'm happy to answer. So if you're unsure whether or not you're Otherkin, well, you can check out this video above where I go into, I believe, 7 signs that you're Otherkin. But here is the TLDR for this video. Sign number 1 is that you just know that you're not from here. You just feel like you're not from here, and maybe you always have this feeling to go home. Second is that you find humans to be pretty confusing. Maybe you see things in society and you're like, why do we do that? Why do humans do that? And maybe even going off of that, you kind of feel this separation from humanity, or you think of humans like that as something separate. You're like, why do humans do that? Instead of like, why do we do that? Third is that you find comfort in another world or another species. So for example, if you're dragonkin, maybe you just find comfort in video games that let you play as a dragon, worlds where all the characters are dragons, for example, and that just always gives you that sense of home. Basically, it just feels right. So now that we've got into some of the main signs that determine whether or not you're Otherkin, we're going to delve into the 5 ways you can kind of make connections, make friends as Otherkin. Because let me tell you, I would say another sign of being Otherkin and starseed is like you just feel alone, right? You just feel like no one really gets you, like no one understands you. It can be really difficult to find people like you and to make lasting connections. So it's my hope that with this video, I'm able to give you some ideas. Know that just because you identify as Otherkin or as a starseed, it doesn't mean that you're just doomed to this life of solitude, right? That's a very victim stance to take. You do have connections out there. Like, trust me, there are people that want to be friends with you. There's people that are just wanting to meet you as much as you're wanting to meet them. So hopefully these different steps will help you kind of step into that energy so you can just sort of magnetize these people to you. So way number 1 is to recognize that just because you're different doesn't mean you're automatically bad or broken. Oof, you feel that one? I feel that one. Oof, my inner child really feels that one. This might seem like it's not really related to connecting with other people and stuff, but actually it plays a massive part in that. Because when you're feeling like, oh, I'm different, no one's like me, I'm bad and I'm broken, you just give off this energy that kind of repels other people. They just feel this vibe that, oh yeah, they're different, no one's ever gonna understand them, I'm just gonna stay away. Whereas when you love yourself, you accept yourself, you're confident in yourself, and you don't feel broken, you're like, yeah, I'm a special snowflake, I'm unique, this is cool. Instead, then people are magnetized to that energy. They will come to you because that confidence is quite hard to come by. And when you're just oozing that confidence and that charisma that you like who you are, other people will pick up on that, and they will be drawn to that, and they will be drawn to you. So I can tell you from personal experience, I spent like basically all of my youth until I was in college, essentially, until I was like 18 years old. Most of that time I was a loner, like with no friends. I gave off those vibes. I was just really sad, to be honest, and giving off vibes that, yeah, no one gets me, no one understands me. And so that's the reality I created for myself. But kind of when I went off to college, it forced me to be on my own a little bit more. I erased that part of myself in a sense. I left it behind. I was like, you know what? I am going to be a new me. I'm going off to college, living by myself now. I'm going to be a new me. And this me is going to be someone that finds people that are like me and makes friends. And sure enough, I started making friends left and right. And ever since college, like it hasn't really been hard for me to make friends. In fact, a lot of people find it really shocking to hear that I still, to this day, suffer from social anxiety and that I'm a massive introvert. It really shocks people because I give off like that charismatic energy, but that's kind of where I started from, and that part of me still does exist. But like I said, it's a choice. When you decide like, hey, I'm going to be the kind of person that loves myself just as I am. I'm the kind of person that makes friends easily. It happens. I promise. Second, this might also blow your mind a little bit. I'm actually going to give you the permission to lose yourself in fantasy and escapism a little bit. Now, hear me out. A lot of times, those of us as Otherkin, starseeds and the like, beat ourselves up for this. We feel like maybe we should be being more social and stuff. We shouldn't lose ourselves so deeply in these fantasy worlds. But I'm actually going to encourage it and give you permission to do so. Within reason, of course, because there is a fine line between using this in a healthy way and just pure escapism, essentially dissociation. So you want to be careful with that. Make sure you're doing it within reason. Know your reasons for engaging. But I can say, when you decide to use this as a means of manifestation, as working with the law of attraction, your life is going to change dramatically. So an example is that I, at one point, was having a really rough time in my life, and I didn't really have anything going on in my life, and I was like feeling kind of alone. So I did just get lost in a video game, and I played it for like hours and upon hours, like every single day. And I got so lost in that world and in those characters. I like constantly had dreams about it. It was just like my whole life for like a solid 3 months or something. And this is what's really, really freaky, okay? I started, after that period, I like moved and I started another phase of my life. I started meeting people that were just like the characters in the game that I like wanted to be friends with in the game. I met people like that in real life. So again, if used within reason, you lose yourself in this fantasy world. It becomes like law of attraction kind of thing, where you're feeling like those characters are actually your friends, and you're, choosing the friends that you would want to hang out with IRL, and you start to feel like it's real. And then it becomes real because you manifest it in your physical reality. You'll start to meet people just like those characters. And on a bonus to that is you might bond with other real people that are similarly into the same things as you, the same fantasy worlds that you're losing yourself in. So 3 is super, super powerful. This one was given to me by a life coach that helped me through a really dark period. This is make a list of ideal qualities in a friend and in a romantic partner. And honestly, for me, like it's the same thing. There is really not much of a difference here. It's just what are the ideal qualities you want to have in a connection with another person, right? You also want to make another list, a list of red flags to look out for. So in past connections where you were feeling like judged by people, taken advantage of, like it didn't go so well, you want to reflect back and get clear on the red flags, because in retrospect, usually we can kind of notice like, oh, hey, yeah, there were some red flags there. I just didn't listen to them. So make a list of these red flags and make a list of your ideal qualities. Then you start putting yourself out there, and we'll talk about that more in step 4. You start putting yourself out there, and you can refer back to these lists to make sure the people that you're calling in, that you're attracting, are the kind of people you want to form lasting connections with, the kind of people you actually want to be friends with. So you can pay attention as you meet them, like, are they exhibiting qualities from your ideal friend list? Or are they exhibiting some of the red flags? If they exhibit any of the red flags, that's a good sign. Maybe you already just want to pull back from the connection before it even gets to like deeply, you get too deeply entrenched. Because I know a lot of us otherkin starseed types are also empaths, and empaths can be magnets for people that want to take advantage of our energy and kind of like suck our energy out. So just be clear of those red flags. As soon as you notice them, pull back from that connection and just move towards focusing on people that have those qualities that you really seek in an ideal connection. So step 4 is to pursue your passions, but this is where it's going to start to get a little scary, in a group setting, okay? So some examples, personal examples that have helped me make friends. Meetup.com. Love meetup.com because you can look for things that you're interested in. Then you can go to groups of people that are also into that thing. I cannot tell you how many good friends I've made through meetup.com. And you can trust knowing that you guys are all going to have that like one thing in common at least. So you got something to talk about from the get-go, which helps break the ice. To like anime conventions. I'm a big anime nerd. So going to anime conventions, you can meet tons of people just like you that feel like just as awkward and out of place. I feel like anime and just like nerd conventions in general, probably a good place to meet otherkin types. Many might not even realize that they're otherkin. And then another one that I've done is gaming tourneys. Like, so for video games that I really enjoy, I'll like do tournaments, and I'll meet people. So let me tell you, like those 3 ways, like it doesn't even feel like I'm being social and like putting myself in an awkward situation. I'm just pursuing my passions, and it's super fun and enjoyable for me to get lost in those passions in that fantasy world. And then as a bonus, I happen to meet other people that share the same passions as me. And so, yeah, I've just made so many different connections just through those 3 specific examples themselves. So finally, way number 5. This is the most explicit of them all. Join an online group. Simple as that, just like meetup.com, but this could just be an explicitly online group. And I know when I was growing up and I struggled with social connection, this helped me a lot initially. I would be on like forums, Neopets, that was a thing that I used to do. Oh my God, nostalgia trip. But yeah, just like online communities. I know nowadays like Discord and Reddit might be good places to connect with otherkin. I myself haven't specifically looked for any otherkin groups or anything like that, but I know they're out there because guess what? The term otherkin actually originated online, I believe, in a forum group of elfkin or something like that. If I got my facts right, I believe people that were into fantasy and like elves and stuff realized they were elfkin, and this is where the otherkin term was born. And again, just like with step number 4, even if you can't find any specific like otherkin groups, if you just focus on what you're passionate about, likely you're going to meet people that you're going to resonate with, whether or not they're otherkin and they really get that part of your life too. But I will say otherkin is such a kind of like under the radar term that many people are otherkin and they don't even realize it. Maybe you could be the one that is like, oh, hey, I identify as this thing. Maybe you do too. And you meet them through these other things, like through anime conventions, video game tournaments, and the like. So finally, going off of that, I am super excited to announce that I now have one of these communities for you to join. And it's a little more intimate than just like a forum. It's my House of the Spirit Dragon community. So this is a great place for otherkin to meet your soul family and the like. It's only $33 a month subscription with the ability to cancel anytime. We've got 2 or 3 like live calls via Zoom every month where you can kind of meet more face to face. But if that's scary to you, understandable. There's also just a private forum off of social media. And you can make topics about Otherkin and get other people's advice on that and the like. And there's just plenty of other like awesome resources in that space to support you on your journey and just learning to love yourself, really, because I feel like that's what it comes down with, and that's what we struggle with the most as Otherkin, is just accepting ourselves, right? Because society, like so much of it tells us that we're wrong, like that we are too weird to exist here, and it's difficult. So I understand that it's difficult, and that's why I was inspired to create this space. I would, of course, love to have you there. I would welcome you there with open arms. So that is our video, friends. I would love to know what kind of Otherkin you identify as in the comments below, as well as if you have any other tips for finding connections, making friends as an Otherkin. Again, it's difficult. So yeah, please share with the class. As always, me and the dragons would love you forever. If you could like this video, subscribe, hit that notification bell to be notified when I post on my super erratic schedule. And until next time, friends, we're sending you much love, good vibes, stay powerful.